welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and today I'm going to be unboxing these. So yeah, I am a big fanboy, I'll admit it, of Battlefront plastic 15mm tanks and infantry, and basically anything they do, to be absolutely honest, as long as they're the plastic and not the horrible resin stuff. I love these things. I think they're really interesting models, very simple to put together, but give you the accuracy that I'm looking for in terms of 15mm Second World War figure. Now they're branded as Flames of War, but you can use them for anything, and I'll be using these for my O group, and it doesn't matter because they work just as well. So let's have a look at what you get. Well, you get the box set, which actually allows you to build 3 different versions of the Panzer III, the iconic Second World War German tank. You've got in here the Panzer III with the short-barreled 5cm gun, the Panzer III with the long-barreled 50mm 5cm gun, and then you have the Panzer III with the short-barreled 75mm howitzer type thing. In fact, there's another version you can do, which is a Panzer III up armoured, which has just slightly thicker armour on the front of the where the gun basically sits. In terms of instructions, that's all you get, but that's all you need. It just has the very simple instructions, and you can see that they're colour coded. So if you choose to do the short barreled 5cm here, it's got a black dot, so you follow the black dot on the different options, and there really is only a couple of options here. The engine cowling at the back is slightly different for 2 of the variants. The machine gun, where the radio operator and driver sit, is slightly different. There's 2 different versions there as well, and obviously the gun itself, there's the 3 different versions depending on which one you're looking to do. So the dots marry up and it makes it very straightforward. Other than that, they're exactly the same. Right, let's have a look at what actually you get in the box. So you get enough to build 5 tanks, as I said, 5 plastic tanks, and the sprues are identical depending, you know, and just they each have the various options on them. So let me just take out 2 of them here. You have basically the hull and the tracks are exactly the same for all the different variants of the Panzer III that you can do with this kit. And then you have the other sprue, which has the different options. Again, the turret is the same, but there's various other options within here. Here's the engine cowling, and you can see it's done 2-sided, so you can have the different versions. You've got the different gun barrels here on the end. This is the long 50, sorry, the short 50, and the short 75. And there's the different machine gun and observation slits for the front for the driver and the radio operator. So very simple to do. Also, so within the box you also get these Flames of War cards. As I say, I don't play it, so I don't really know what these are, but I know sort of support cards for games are really helpful. So it tells you the composition of, if you want to take a Panzer III company, and their stat lines and what have you for Flames of War. It's a nice pretty picture there, and some shortcuts on movements, etc. So anyway, good stuff there. You also get some decals, water slide ones by the look of it, which is great. And for a further option, you get a couple of, 5 crew members. So if you want to do the turrets open with the crew hanging out, you can do that too. So very straightforward, very simple, just the kind of kits I love. So let's make one up, shall we? See how easy these things are. So I've got my instructions. Plot that out on the side of your camera here. We're going to start with the base. Clip off all the pieces. just tidy them up a little bit, make sure the any residue of the nodules, the connection points, are smoothed away. I like to do that, so let's just do this across. Right, there you go, that's that done. I've got my contact glue here, so handily enough they have sockets on the underside or the inside of the hull here. There's 2 on one side and 3 on the other, so even a nincompoop like me can work out which way round they go, because they'll only go one way. So there's this guy's got 2 slots, so whoops, like that. And this one's got 3, so like that, easy peasy peasy. Then we're going to put the top on, putting the glue around the outside, making sure we cover every contact point. Now this is one thing that even a nincompoop like me can get wrong. Just want to make sure the engine compartment's at the back, which is there, and there you go. Just make sure that's all sealed up, which it is, and the excess glue, just work that away. So that's the hull done. That's it. I'm going to say that's a standard fitting for all the variants in this kit. Now we're going to work on excuse me, the turret, which I think will be the next one. So this one I'm going to do, which version am I going to do? I'm going to do the long 50. So we'll just take off all the components for the turret first of all. Now then, the front section where the muzzle goes in, or the gun goes in, they use the same connector, which is this piece here. So we'll just snip that off. So all the different versions use the same one. And then I'm using the long 50, which is obviously the longer barrel here. So we'll clip that one out. Here we go. And the bit that holds it in place is this one here. So we'll clip that off too. There we go. And once again, I'll just tidy these up a bit, just to make sure that there's no residue. Right, that's done. I forgot to take the little connector off that holds the turret in place, so we'll do that one first because we want that to stick. So it goes through there. This is awkward working around a camera, but there you go. So that goes on like that, and obviously that will sit into the turret, into the hull of the tank itself. Now we're going to just do the rest of the turret. Are you watching Wargaming? No need for 5 different pieces, 6 different pieces. This is just simples. So that just slots on there, like so. Push it down gently and clean that one up very well. Never mind. A bit more mist on the clean up here. So now we just put the front plate on the gun. It's this one. It can only go one way round because otherwise it just doesn't fit properly. And then next up, the gun barrel itself. Again, it can only go one place because it's got this ridge here, which connects to that ridge there. There we go. And then we're going to put the reinforcement over the top. it the right way around, it would help. There we go. There we go. And that is the long barrel done. Now, I've done this with the hatch closed because it means I don't have to paint the crew member. And we'll put the... Again, the turret top has a little sort of a bit that connects into the top there, so it can only go one way, which is nice. And then the oops, this bit at the back just sits on there with a dab of glue. And there you go, there's the turret done. Easy peasy peasy. I love easy. So those are those bits. So the hull isn't quite finished yet, so we'll do that now. We've got to put the engine compartment on. Now we've chosen the long barreled version of the tank, which is the white dot on the thing, which, looking at the picture, is that way round. No, tell a lie, it's that way round. So we'll just pop that on. Again, it's got a little groove inside the engine there, which is what we'll sit it on. Put a little bit on each side there just to help the gluing, and it just slots perfectly in place like that. Next up, we need to put, as you can see, the back of the tank needs something there. There is a component here, which is this one here. Just clip that off. And that just slots over that. And that just helps complete the connection between the two sections of the hull. Like, oops. Like so. There we go, and there's an option to put some spare track on the front there. There's some reinforced protection for that soft spot on the tank. Can't pick it up. Come on. There we go. And there we have it. And that basically is the tank built. There we go. Very simple, very effective. Oh, hang on. No, I've forgotten something. I've forgotten the machine gun ports there at the front. Yeah, silly boy. So that is, there's two options. For the option, the variant of the tank we're doing, it's this one. Pop that off, give that a little bit of a tidy up. Just put a dab of glue down the front there and pop that in like so. And now we're done. There we go. And that is the tank finished. So I'm going to make up the rest of them. I'm going to do 2 with the long barrel gun, 2 with the short barrel gun, and 1 with the short 75. And I'll be back and show you how I paint them. Right then, I have undercoated all these tanks with a matte black. Done the turret separately because otherwise you invariably get a bit of a mist area underneath whenever the turret comes off. And obviously, because I'm not a heathen, I have based the tank. So next up, what I'm going to do is do the base colour on top of the undercoat. And for that, I'm just using Castle Grey, but any kind of mid to dark range grey will do fine. Get a nice big brush. I'm reaching around the camera again, and all I'm going to do is just drag brush it onto the tank. It's not quite a dry brush, it's a bit more than that. This is not easy around the camera, excuse me. So, but I'm just aiming to get enough colour on there that you can see it's grey. And don't worry if you go a little bit hard. Using a very big brush, as you can see. Just really for speed. We'll just do the turret. Not good enough on that. There you go. They are done. We're going to leave them to dry. Just make sure I've got underneath there. Now it goes without saying I'm doing early war German armour because the Panzer III was predominantly an early war tank. So I'm doing mine in just the sort of standard grey, which is also handedly much easier to paint. So I'll leave this to dry and I'll be back with the next stage. Right, there you go. That's all dry. And actually quite effective already. This is just a basic colour. So what I'm going to do now is the tracks. Now for that I'm using this contrast Cygor brown, but any kind of dark brown is a good one for this, I think. I particularly like contrast because I just think it applies so easily. And all I'm going to do, not particularly good brush, it's an old one, but it doesn't matter, it's just work my way around the tracks like so. Just making sure also we get the little bits inside that grip into the There you go, that's all done. And also there, remember there's a track that we stuck on the front, the extra reinforce. So I think the contrast works really well because it rolls into the gaps really nicely. So there you go, that's the tracks done. So we're going to let that dry and then we'll move on to the next stage. So next up we're going to take some Citadel Nuln oil, any dark shade will do. And we're just going to apply that liberally over the entire vehicle. And there you go, all done. I'm going to leave that to dry thoroughly. Right, so what I've done in the interim is just highlight a couple of the tools that are on the top of the tank, just with a silver, actually I think it's, what was it? Don't know, anyway, a relatively bright steel colour. I also picked out the wood, there's an axe here, don't know if you can quite see it, so I picked that out. So now what I'm going to do is just take out some deck tan and my trusty makeup brush, and I am going to dry brush over the top. So really, unlike the last time, this is a proper dry brush I'm aiming to do here. Just work it over the highlights just to bring out the edges and lighten it up a bit. go. That is that. We'll do the same with the wheels. More on that brush. Like all good dry brushes, you just put a bit on the brush and then take a lot off it. There we go. Oh, a bit too much on the bottom there. It's difficult to go around the camera as I keep complaining. And there you go. So that is the tank pretty much done. Oops. Put that back on. There we go. He's pretty much done. And I think that's pretty effective as it is, to be honest. But next I'm going to put the transfers on. And then we'll do the basing. Right, there you go. Base is done. All I did was just get the Vallejo mud. There we go, thick mud. And I used a knife to spread it around. And now I'm just going to take some of it on a brush and just work it into the tracks and where the mud would probably spring up. I've also put brown paint around the edge of the base so that it doesn't look too weird. And then once this is done, I'll put some tufts on, because everything looks better with tufts on. And then we'll varnish it, and I'll show you what they all look like after this. Back in a minute. So there you go. The basing is all done. As I say, I just used the Vallejo mud to build up the base and work some into the tracks with a paintbrush. Put a couple of tufts around the place, and I think it's quite an effective model. It's been varnished with a matte varnish to take the shine off it entirely, and very happy with how they came out. So there you go. There's one. So let me show the others. And there you go, there's all 5 of them completed. 2 with the long-barreled 50 centimetre or 50 millimetre, 2 with the short-barreled 50 millimetre, and 1 with the short-barreled 75 millimetre. And I think these are lovely little tanks. They're so easy to do, so easy to paint up. And a very, very effective little kit for your table, whether you're using them for Flames of War, whatever, O group, I guess Chain of Command and Bolt Action in 15mm, they all work perfectly well for that. So really, really recommend the Battlefront Panzer III kits. Simple, effective, and get on the table 5 units, 5 models on the table very, very quickly indeed. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, share, subscribe, do all that good funky stuff. And at some point, these will see the table for me, probably in an O group game, because I like O group. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you enjoy your gaming. And I will see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.